Welcome back, everyone, to the TalkEasy English podcast. We're here to guide you toward fluency and confidence. I'm Maya.
And I'm Leo. It's fantastic to connect with you again. Maya, how's your week been treating you so far? I've had a busy but rewarding start.
Excellent. My week has been full of energy, perhaps because I stuck to my morning routine better than usual. And that perfectly leads us into today's topic, the structure of our daily.
Absolutely. Understanding how to articulate your daily life is foundational for any English speaker. Our daily habits form the invisible framework of our lives, what we do from the moment we open our eyes until we go back to bed.
Precisely. We'll be breaking down those repeatable actions into manageable language chunks. This episode will cover those critical verbs and phrases you need for talking about the morning, afternoon, and evening.
And to make sure you catch every important word, we've brought along our expert language analyst, Sarah. She will step in after each segment to dissect the most valuable vocabulary. Sarah, so glad you could join us.
Thank you, Leo and Maya. It's a pleasure. I look forward to helping our listeners solidify these practical words through detailed examples.
Let's not waste any time. We begin with how we handle our mornings.
Part 1, the morning routine, launching the day. For me, getting the day started is all about immediate momentum. Since my commute is long, I spring out of bed at 6 a.m. sharp. I immediately head to the kitchen to sip on a large cup of black coffee, that's my fuel, before I even consider checking my phone.
That's quite the early launch, Leo. My pace is a bit slower. I like to laze in bed for about 10 minutes. Planning the 3 most important things I want to achieve. After that, I pop into the shower to wake up fully.
The shower is definitely crucial. After my coffee, I make a simple breakfast, usually a bowl of Greek yogurt topped with nuts and honey. I try to get a quick bite in before I have to leave the house.
I usually skip the heavy cooking and instead grab a piece of fruit and make a quick protein shake. Before leaving for my university classes, I always double-check my backpack to make sure I haven't left any necessary textbooks or notebooks behind.
It's those small checks that prevent future stress. I also glance at my calendar for the day to confirm my meeting schedule before I head out the door for work. That tiny bit of planning keeps me focused.
We've shared some great actions here. Now, Sarah, could you guide our listeners through the key vocabulary we use to describe starting the day?
Here are 5 important phrases from the morning discussion. 1. To spring out of bed, this means to get up very quickly and energetically. Leo mentioned he springs out of bed to start his early day. Example, on holiday mornings, my son springs out of bed to go swimming. 2. To laze in bed, the opposite, to stay in bed, relaxing and being inactive, after waking up. Maya likes to laze in bed briefly to mentally prepare. Example, I love Sunday mornings because I can laze in bed and read the news. 3. To sip on, something to drink slowly. Taking small mouthfuls. Leo mentioned he sips on a large cup of black coffee. Example, we sat on the porch and sipped on iced tea while watching the sunset. 4. To get a quick bite in, to eat a small meal quickly, often before doing something else. Leo tries to get a quick bite in before leaving. Example, we only have 5 minutes before the movie starts, let's get a quick bite in at the food court. 5. To double check, something to check something a second time to be absolutely sure it is correct or ready. Maya double checks her backpack for essentials. Example, always double check the door lock before you leave the house on vacation.
Excellent analysis, Sarah. Those verbs are perfect for describing morning energy levels.
Now that our listeners are awake and ready, let's look at how we tackle the challenges of the afternoon.
Part 2, the afternoon routine, productivity and breaks.
By early afternoon, my energy peaks. I focus on tackling the most complex assignments, the ones that require the deepest thinking. I believe in working intensely for 50 minutes, then taking a solid 10-minute break to give my eyes a rest.
I use a similar strategy. During the afternoon, I am often bogged down with meetings and urgent emails. To maintain efficiency, I schedule my heaviest work after lunch, then I force myself to step away for short intervals to walk around the office floor.
That midday meal can be tricky. My rule is to eat light to avoid the crash. I usually have a fruit smoothie or maybe some leftover grilled chicken from the night before. I want to feel light on my feet, not weighed down.
A heavy lunch is a recipe for disaster. I try to opt for high-protein foods to keep my blood sugar steady. I try to sneak in a short walk outside after eating, which really helps me shake off the sleepiness that often hits around 2 p.m.
After that renewed focus, I aim to wrap up all major tasks by 4:30 p.m. so I can use the late afternoon for preparing for the next day. It's all about ending the workday on a high note.
I couldn't agree more. Getting the critical items completed by late afternoon means I don't have to stay behind at the office unnecessarily. Sarah, what are the most useful terms for describing work efficiency and breaks?
Wonderful. Let's look at 6 phrases that describe intense focus and managing energy. 1. To be bogged down with, something an idiom meaning to be so busy or entangled with tasks that your progress is slowed. Leo is often bogged down with meetings. Example, the project manager felt bogged down with endless administrative paperwork. 2. To step away, for an interval to take a short, planned break from an activity. Leo schedules time to step away from his tasks. Example, if you are struggling with a problem, sometimes it helps to step away for 5 minutes and come back later. 3. To be light on your feet, a figurative phrase meaning to be active, energetic, and ready to move. Maya wants to feel light on her feet after lunch. Example, after a healthy night's sleep, the runners felt light on their feet for the morning jog. 4. To shake off, the sleepiness/a feeling to get rid of an unwanted feeling or state. Leo walks to shake off the sleepiness. Example, it took him a few minutes to shake off the nervousness before his interview. 5. To wrap up, tasks a phrasal verb meaning to complete or finish something. Maya aims to wrap up all major assignments before the evening. Example, the speaker managed to wrap up his presentation right on time. 6. To end on a high note, an idiom meaning to finish an event or period of time very successfully or positively. Maya wants to end her workday on a high note. Example, despite a slow start to the party, the final act really helped us end on a high note.
That vocabulary is invaluable for talking about work and productivity. Thank you, Sarah.
And with the workday finished, it's time to move on to the final part of our day, preparing for rest.
Part 3, the evening routine, rest and regeneration.
When the evening rolls around, my priority is unplugging from the day's pressure. I typically make a simple one-pot dinner, like a quick lentil soup or a pasta dish, and I often listen to a relaxing podcast while I cook.
I use a similar technique to slow my mind down. After I've finished my dinner, usually a little later, around 8 p.m., I might catch up on a TV series or practice my guitar. It's important to have a clear transition from work mode.
Once dinner is completely cleared away and the kitchen is clean, I have a nightly ritual that helps signal the end of the day. I perform a full skincare routine and change into comfortable clothes. It's a physical signal to my body that it's time to switch off.
That's a wonderful habit. Before going to bed, I always try to read a chapter of a physical book instead of looking at my phone. I try to avoid the blue light from screens, as it interferes with sleep.
Avoiding screens is so crucial for good sleep. I try to be consistent with my bedtime, around 10 p.m. or 10:30 p.m. I believe that getting adequate rest is the most important part of my routine.
Absolutely. I make a point of being asleep by 10:45 p.m. so I can get a full 8 hours. When you prioritize sleep, everything else the next day becomes much easier. Sarah, could you offer a final set of phrases for our winding down period?
Certainly, my last set of phrases focuses on preparing the body and mind for rest. 1. To unplug from, something a metaphor meaning to disconnect from technology or stop thinking about stress/work. Maya focuses on unplugging from the day's pressure. Example, on weekends, I go hiking to truly unplug from my computer and emails. 2. To catch up on a series/show, to watch episodes of a TV show that you have missed. Leo might catch up on a TV series after dinner. Example, I spent my flight time trying to catch up on the latest season of that historical drama. 3. To perform a routine/ritual, to carry out a set sequence of actions. Maya performs a full skincare routine. Example, the musicians performed a short warm-up ritual before their concert. 4. To avoid something, to stay away from or prevent something from happening. Leo tries to avoid the blue light before sleep. Example, if you have an allergy, you must always avoid eating peanuts. 5. To prioritize something, to treat something as more important than others. Leo believes you must prioritize sleep. Example, we decided to prioritize speed over perfection to meet the deadline.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Your explanations have made these everyday phrases so clear and actionable.
We hope this conversation has given all our listeners a wealth of new vocabulary to talk about their own daily rhythm. Remember, the key to fluency is not just learning words, but seeing how they fit into your life.
Exactly. So take these phrases, practice them, and try to use them when describing your own day.
Thanks again to Sarah for the fantastic linguistic analysis, and thank you to all our listeners for tuning in to Talk Easy English.
If this lesson helped you build your English bridge to the world, show us some love. We believe in one global conversation, and your support makes it possible. Hit the like button, subscribe to join our mission, and let's keep learning together.
Until next time, keep practicing your English habits.